So I take it all of y'all had to painfully sit through that State of the Union address by Creepy, Sleepy, Sleazy, Slimy, Sloppy Joe. Well, if you didn't, it's okay because I was there for you. I watched that mess so you don't have to. But there's a couple things that stood out during that speech that I think I need to highlight. Yeah, so let's get into this. So the other day during my live show, I played a clip where they were talking about, this whole subject of trans, people who want to be transformers, robots in disguise. And the lady that I used in the clip was from England. She was having a debate concerning this lady over there. Well, actually, should I say a man that was over there. And I think he wanted to be in prison with the ladies because he said that he was you know what. And they got into this debate. And this lady brought up a very, very good point, y'all, that I think I want to revisit here, okay? So let's go ahead and listen to that small part of the clip, and then I'll tell you why I feel the way that I feel. Before we get to this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. Noble Gold Investments is pleased to let you know that gold is the best investment class for 2022. Real estate, crypto, stocks, and bonds, gold outperformed all of them in 2022. So what are you waiting for? Noble Gold Investments have helped thousands of clients buy real physical gold. Open a gold IRA or a silver IRA with Noble Gold Investments this month and receive a free 1/4 ounce American Gold Eagle coin with every qualifying IRA of $50,000. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold, and there are thousands of 5-star reviews. And if you're not ready to invest, download the Noble Gold Investments Gold Investment Guide. Scroll down below and you'll find the link in the description box. For mobile users, click the More button to find the link. Now, let's get to this video. But let's start off first by checking out this short little clip right here, which makes some sense if you still got some sense.
Should a school-aged girl or a grown woman be forced to give up her privacy in a locker room because a biological man identifying as a woman wants to change there? Should a shelter serving women who have survived rape, sex trafficking, and domestic violence be forced to allow biological men to sleep side by side with these women? Should faith-based adoption providers be shut down for following their conviction that the best environment for each child includes a mother and a father in a committed and stable marriage? Should a biological male who believes he is female be allowed to compete against women and girls in female sports, depriving female athletes of a level playing field and countless opportunities to win and even earn college scholarships? According to the so-called Equality Act, a priority for Democrats, including President Biden, the answer to all these questions is yes.
Whoa. Now, see, that's a problem because, see, as I listened to that whole clip, those points that she brought up focuses on two crucial parts when it comes down to our civil liberties. Number one, common sense. Does it make sense to allow these people to violate other people's comfort level, their civil liberties, their freedom, their right to privacy when they're in the restroom? That's one thing that they bring out in this. And then two, does it also violate people's ability to participate in an equal match? See, now the bill, I think, is called the Equality Act, but in a sense, the things that she was highlighting, does that sound like equality? When men might have to race against women because the man thinks he's a woman, but he does have an advantage and he ends up beating these people. So these are all issues, see, and these issues are not just limited to adults. I mean, these issues break down to kids too as well. Now, at the end of that, she said that the Biden administration, which also kind of speaks for almost every Democrat politician, they feel the answer to all those questions is yes. So then I have to stop and step back and say, now wait, does that make sense? These are politicians that can impact my life. These are politicians who could change the whole landscape of how we live our lives and so on and so forth. So we need to make sure that these politicians are using some common sense. They're using scientific information to support their radical changes or laws that they're proposing or bills that they're proposing. Because if they're not using science, then what are they using? Are they using emotions? Are they using witchcraft? Are they using voodoo? Which we're going to have to talk about this because I just heard the State of the Union and here is Joe Biden's take on it, okay? Let's hear him.
It's also passed the Bipartisan Equality Act to ensure LGBTQ Americans, especially transgender young people, can live with safety and dignity.
So you hear that? Y'all heard Joe during the State of the Union. Let's pass the LGBT, wait, the L-double-G. Anyway, you know, those folks. We got to pass that so that young people can live in dignity and this and that. Now, here's the thing. Notice what he did. He's talking about young people. I got a problem with that. See, I think most Americans have a problem with that because, see, you're bringing up titles which, okay, granted, the LGB, when you slide that T in, that concerns me. Not only do it appear that these people are really focused on targeting young people in regards to introducing them to that whole lifestyle. Now, minus the T. I'm talking the L, the G, the B, the T, to all of that. They really want to normalize that amongst young adults for some reason. But then it goes even a step further where they start saying that, you know, it's okay. Because Joe Biden said that a 9-year-old is okay to have this procedure done if they want to live their life like that. Now, the reason I bring this up is because of the debate that took place over in England with this lady who was, you know, having this debate with a transgender man. And she was talking about reality. She's talking about science. Let's hear what she had to say, and then I'll go ahead and conclude.
As Kelly said, this is a discussion that is not just about the situation of prisons or crisis centres, which are very important places that are sex-based for a reason.
True.
And there's a kind of, it's remarkable to me that politicians in this country, in Scotland and Wales and in England, seem to have given up on the, you know, belief in reality that sex is real and that it's irrefutable. And if politicians and a government cannot deal in reality and in truth and deal with facts that are based on the things that we all understand, then why would you have any belief in anything they say? Why would you have any belief in the justice system? Because for the kind of group that we haven't mentioned so far is women, and it's women who are being made to pay for it.
Now, I'm loving what that lady just said. She said if a politician cannot operate in facts, if they can't operate in truth and reality, why trust anything that they're saying? Now, we just heard Joe Biden talk about the LGBTQ+X-3 kids and stuff like that. And if you ask any Democrat, you will find that they support all the things we saw in the little cartoon ad. See, and you have to ask yourself, are those things rational? Are they fair? Do they support really equality? Or are they sliding another agenda to force that agenda down the throats of everybody else who might not feel as if they're cool with a man walking around in the locker room with them, or their daughters being subjected to a man, or their daughters participating in some sport, and you're denying all of the science and the anatomy and our knowledge of men and women throughout the dawn of time. These politicians who are responsible for making choices that can impact our life, they can make a choice not based on science, not based on truth, and then you have to live with that choice. Now, for them to make that choice, either they have to be crazy, meaning they cannot decipher the difference between real and not real, the difference between science and fiction, or they're evil enough to get out there and deny the truth, deny the science. And if they're able to do that, that means they have looked you in your eye and lied to you. Why is that important? Because if they're willing to lie about something like that, you don't need to trust anything else they say. If they're willing to say, I know you've been knowing what a man and a woman is down throughout history. I know you know that there's no way a man can close his eyes and squint and say, I'm a woman, and become one, vice versa. I know you know that a man cannot reproduce and drop a baby out. I know you know that men can't have their cycles and all of that stuff. However, as a elected official, as a politician, I'm going to look y'all in the face and say, it can happen. Soon as you hear that, you should say, nope, can't vote for that man. Can't vote for that woman. Because if you're willing to lie to me, try to gaslight me based on the basic knowledge of human anatomy, then you can lie to me about pretty much anything. You really tried it. If you say, I know this person, everybody knows what the apple stem means when a baby come out, but watch this. I'm going to look at them and tell them that that's not true. That baby at some point as it grows can decide what it wants to be. But at the same time, we'll turn around and try to force you to get something you don't want to get, force you to embrace whatever Dr. Fauci says and all of that stuff. and then chastise you when you are a little bit hesitant and tell you need to trust the science. Now, if you need to trust the science then, but all of a sudden when it comes down to anatomy, you don't need to trust the science, then how can I believe you? See, if we can't start with some basic reality, some basic truths that we can all agree upon, I don't trust you. Nothing else you say. That's why all the stuff Joe Biden said tonight during the State of the Union, I didn't trust any of that, because that's the same man who we just watched say, protect LGBTQ rights for kids. I didn't know that this was a huge market. I didn't know that there was a whole bunch of kids running around thinking they were the opposite gender and stuff. It appears to me like adults have been pushing this into the kids' heads. So therefore, I cannot trust a politician who cannot acknowledge that basic scientific fact. That would be like this. If you went to get on an aerial plane and you went to the pilot and you say, hey man, let's have a discussion about the science behind gravity. Now, why is that important to an airplane pilot? Because he has to understand how gravity works, how velocity works, and all of that stuff. Because if you can't understand that principle, you might not be able to fly a plane. If you can't recognize the fact that this plane has to defy gravity by going through a certain series of procedures and having some science built into it and mechanics and engineering that allows it to lift and defy gravity. If we can't agree that gravity will pull that plane down, if none of those things are in place, or if they all stop working, then I can't trust you as my pilot. Because see, in that case, you'll get up there and say it doesn't matter. We can cut off all of the engines, we can dump the gas, we can lose a wing, we can whatever, and we're still good. Because I don't believe that gravity will pull this plane down. Now, if you and I can't agree on that simple principle, and yet you're telling me, but trust me, everything else you can trust me on. Get in the plane, I'm a great pilot. And I say, but you don't even understand the concept of gravity. We can't even agree that gravity could play a factor if the plane cuts off. Wow, well, you think we're gonna do float? Well, at that point, I can't trust you. How did you get your license to fly? Same thing with these politicians. When they look us in the eye and tell us that, I'm not a biologist. I mean, what do you want me to, how do you know the difference between a man and a, and I'm saying, you're purposefully lying to us. Therefore, every single thing that you tell me from this point on, I don't believe it. And you shouldn't either. And I'm going to go ahead and break it down on another level in my other clip, because I'm breaking down Joe Biden's speech section by section. You know what I'm saying? So you can let it marinate. I want to give you the overdose. Okay. I'm just reacting to what this dude was saying and giving my interpretation on it. All right. Now, please do me a favor. Click on that like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. Don't forget, please check out my podcast. Subscribe to my backup channel. The link's right below this video. Okay. If you want to donate to my channel, which I hope you do, go ahead. Feel free by going to either my PayPal or my Cash App, and I appreciate all that stuff. All right, y'all. Yeah, man. Stay grounded in reality. God bless y'all. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.